I love talking about effective altruism because I think the work that Peter Singer's done and other people in that movement have like enabled us to have a much more interesting philosophical conversation about what our goals really are. Like they put in some arguments on the board and a vision of the good life on the board that now gives us something to react to and think about, and that's been a huge gift. I started this discussion tonight. We were sharing our definitions of the good life, and I said there's this tempting, but I think philosophically and personally wrong idea of the good life is just a series of good trade-offs. Like, I'm going to trade some sleep to work some more on this project because the project is, going to have better net return than sleep would tonight, blah, blah, blah. You just make all these trade-offs in a really smart way. The vision of the good life, the morally good life that you get from effective altruism, is that your morally good life is just this set of really smart trade-offs over time. You forego going to the movies so that you can direct $8 towards purchasing malaria nets, or probably towards this savings account that's invested in a really smart stock that's going to be used to for AI safety or whatever the kind of effective altruist goal of the year is. And you're just making all of these like really smart trade-offs. I invest in the stock market. This is prudential rationality 101. You want to be like really smart with your projections and you're gathering your evidence, and that's great. Do not mistake that kind of smartness about individual decisions, a skill that you've learned and you're honing in college and you will in your job, with understanding what the good life is, because the whole good life has parts of it that are not making these trade-offs in an intelligent way. It has twists and turns, it has children involved in it and maybe loved ones, and lots of things that this kind of trade-off mentality just really doesn't apply to. And where the effective altruists, I think, start to sound really off the rails is when they try to bring those trade-off decisions into areas of life where they really don't belong. And you see this like in Peter Singer, The Most Good You Can Do. He talks about effective altruists living their real lives. And you've got cases of people trying to do this trade-off math, like a couple, about whether they should have children. And they think like, well, I'll be pretty unhappy and worse at effective altruism if I have to deny myself this kind of like biological urge to have children, and I'd really love those kids, but I'm going to make sure I don't spend too much money on their birthday presents and make sure that they're raised to be effective altruists, and that's going to have a greater impact on the world because they came to be. You have to, the philosopher Bernard Williams calls this the one thought too many problem. Like, you've already given yourself way too many arguments to have kids. I'm worried that you're not going to be a good parent. Because there's something about like this aspect of family life that's not a series of trade-offs. It's like love and generosity. And that's where they miss the mark, I think, is they try to take what's good in one domain of life, like investing, or good for public policy, and use exactly that same kind of logic for absolutely every domain in life. And as Ben said, there are certain parts of the good life that's not where it belongs.